Hi everyone. So today I'm going to kind of cover a little bit of the year so far that I've done with reading. So I have some good, the bad, and then I also want to go a little bit over a book haul that I've gotten so far this year. So some fun things, but I have read a couple books so far. Not a ton. Goodreads is actually yelling at me, going, "You're behind." But I'm reading some bigger books, so it's frustrating. I should have probably changed my goal there. But so far, I've read Trials of the Empire, which is the third book of the Empire of the Wolf series. Veiled Throne, Speaking Bones, both of those books 3 and 4 of the Dandelion Dynasty. Gathering Storm, which is the Wheel of Time book. Blood Song, so that was on my TBR list for the year, and so I have that one done. And then there's a couple other books that I've started reading, but one of them's a DNF already. So, and the other one I'm still currently reading, but I'm kind of on the fence about. So I don't really know if I want to continue or not. I don't know. But great start so far for the year because Trials of the Empire, Veiled Throne, Speaking Bones, and Blood Song were amazing. They were all great books, so I was so excited to start the year off strong. Trials of the Empire is actually coming out soon next week, so I would definitely recommend going ahead and starting that series if you haven't, or if you have, get ready for the third book because it is so good. I would like to do another video just on why you should read the Empire of the Wolf series because it is great. I loved it. Book 1, I was a little more on the fence about. So Justice of Kings was not my favorite, but book 2 and book 3 definitely got me hooked on the series. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the growth of the characters. They did more of an exploration of the afterworld, kind of underworld, whatever you want to call it. They did more exploration of that, and there was also some epic battles happening in the other world as well on the main reality field. So it was great. There are a lot of gruesome scenes described in there, but I mean, I liked it. It was enjoyable, but it made it more realistic. But also the characters explore how that affected them. So it's not just like your typical, oh, I just, had this huge battle and killed everyone and I'm okay. But no, they actually were affected. And so I enjoyed more that exploration, that more realistic feel towards that. But yeah, so that was great. I definitely recommend picking that up. You'll be super happy with it because I was, especially if you liked the other books. If you haven't tried the series yet, give it a try. But if you don't like book 1 as much, continue to stick it out because book 2 really got me hooked. I actually was a little cautious on whether I wanted to continue the series or not, and I was always surprised by how many people were raving about it because I was like, I did not feel that same connection with Justice of Kings. But like I said, book 2 really that one I loved. So Veiled Throne and Speaking Bones. Oh my word. Okay, so that's another video I'm going to do. I'm going to do why you should read Dandelion Dynasty because it's amazing. It is so good. This series, it's messed me up because I don't even know I didn't know what to read next because it was just so good. Like, I don't know how to just describe how amazing this series was. This author is a genius. Like, the amount of themes that he explores, insane. And just the characters, I mean, the way that the author can write the villains and with the characters, I mean, I hate it, but I love it. I mean, it's so good. I mean, the characters are like just straight up evil when they're evil. But you also have this question of, they think they're doing the right thing. And so like you get in their head and you see why they're doing what they're doing. And you're just like, oh, okay, well, you do have a reason for this. And I see your logic that's going behind it. I mean, obviously you're wrong, but I see what they're doing. And it's like, I mean, it messes you up. It's like, it's so good. It is so good. And then you have like all these battles going on. There is just... Okay, so book 3 was fun because there was this little interlude for a while. I enjoyed it, but it was a cooking competition going on. That was so much fun. I enjoyed that. I loved that. Some people might find that kind of boring. Like, why am I reading about a cooking competition? But it was fun. I liked it. I thought it was a fun little interlude. I've actually been watching some cooking shows at night, some baking competitions or whatever. And so it was fun to read about one. I was like, this is cool. So I enjoyed that. I thought that was so fun. But I will say though, so book 3 and 4, I think they're technically supposed to be considered like one book, because book 3 didn't really end per se. It just kind of was like continuing on. It didn't have like this huge climax scene going on where everything was chaotic, just like the ends of book 1 and 2. But 3 and 4, I think they're supposed to kind of just be read as one giant book. Which is fine. But there was book 4, I felt more bored with some of the scenes. I felt like there could have been some scenes that were cut out. I especially got this way when there was a lot of explanations or backstories for things, because it kept like, so the scene would move and then all of a sudden it would go back in time to describe how they got to where they got there. And I mean, after a while, it started to kind of drive me nuts, because I don't mind that happening periodically, but it was happening a lot. And it was like, okay, I don't need the whole backstory. Like, I just want to like move on and know what's happening. But also, they were really like diving in depth regarding like the mechanics of certain inventions and going into more of the engineering aspect. And I'm just not really interested in that. So I kind of was glazing over it. But there's probably a lot of people that will find that interesting. So just because I didn't doesn't mean that it doesn't belong there. I just found myself getting a little more bored in those scenes. But oh my word, that series, I mean, I already want to reread it. I mean, it was so good. It was so good. I did not expect to enjoy that series that much. And it was like, I can't think of any comparison. I mean, it was just so good. I mean, I need like a moment of silence for that book. It was so good. I definitely recommend trying it. Some people may not find it to be, I don't know exactly what they might like, because it is different. It's a different type of writing style. Book 1, I really had almost a hard time getting into in the beginning, because it switches around a lot of point of views. It's also kind of more of this narration that's just kind of like above everyone, but you're also in the character's thoughts. So it can be a little, you can feel a little detached in the beginning, but once you start to get used to that, it's a great writing style, and it fits, because you're getting the point of view of everyone. You're seeing what's going on. You're getting all the different thoughts and logic, reasoning behind everyone and why they're doing what they're doing. So you're seeing the whole picture, which is good. And then the other books, you do get some more new point of views, but you start to learn who everyone is. So all these point of views being switched all the time, it starts to not really matter as much, because you know who everyone is. And so you grow attached to everyone. And the author's not scared to kill people off, so don't get too attached, I guess. I don't know. I loved it. I loved it so much. So I recommend it. Okay, and then the other book I read was Gathering Storm, Wheel of Time. This was the first one that Sanderson took a part in, and oh my goodness, this was a breath of fresh air having Sanderson join in this series, because I enjoyed the writing style. It's like, it was good. I was so happy to enjoy it. Especially after the last 3 books, I was just about to throw the series out the window. But no, it's finally picking back up, and this ended really well. I liked the ending. It was so good in this one. So I'm really excited. I have 2 left. I'm going to finish Wheel of Time this year. I am so excited. I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm no longer reading it, because it has been the background of my reading list for the past 3 years or so. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm so excited, and it's just, these are so good. But I will say though, these next 2 books are huge, so it's going to take me a while. But yeah, I'm so happy that I'm enjoying it again. So stick through it if you're in the slog books, because it definitely is a slog, that's for sure. Bloodsong. So this was the book that was on my TBR for the year when I did that list, and I read it. I've actually owned this book for so long, and I finally have read it, and I love Anthony Ryan's books. I read the Covenant of Steel trilogy, which has Pariah, Martyr, and Traitor. I know there's 3 words. I can think of them. Great trilogy. I love that trilogy. But so I was really excited and nervous to do another Anthony Ryan book because I had high expectations. And Bloodsong delivered. I loved it so much. It was so good. It's fast-paced. It's addictive. I enjoyed it. The main character is Vaylin Alsorna. And it starts off kind of with the end of the book. So it starts off talking about how he's been captured, and so he's telling his story to someone else. And so it's kind of one of those scenarios of, I guess you're wondering how I ended up here. And so he's like telling that story. And so the whole book is him telling his story to someone else. And it's really enjoyable. I like that because it yeah, I mean, you know the character is going to make it to the end of the story. You don't know if he's going to make it after that, but you know he's going to at least make it to the end, I guess. But yeah, it's really good. So I will say, though, my main complaint is this does time jump a lot, and there's no warning anywhere in this book, especially when it is hopping back and forth between present and him telling the story. You can tell that because it's italicized, the present day, but when the interludes between when he's telling the story and it's jumping to the present day, sometimes when it's jumping back, it doesn't jump back right to where you left off. It might have gone forward like a couple years, and it doesn't tell you that. You kind of have to guess. And I wish it would have just been like when it's going back, been like, well, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. Like, I wish it would have done that. It would have just been a simple little addition that would have made things flow a little better and have a little less confusion, because I spend that first couple pages going like, okay, so where are we in the timeline? So that's my main complaint. But other than that, I loved it. I mean, it's more of this kind of training story, because he starts off as a young boy and he's going to this training place. It's the Sixth Order, and they're kind of this elite fighting force. And so it's starting off with him getting dropped off as a boy, so he's having to train there. And it, classic to kind of the Pariah series, the main character is great at everything. And some people might not like that because they might feel like it's a trope or something, but I love it. I like when the main character is good at everything. So you do get that in here, and I enjoyed that. So to me, it made me happy. But yeah, so he's great at fighting. He's kind of the center of everything. Everyone wants him to fight for them. He gets tied in with a lot of various areas. He's tied in with the Order, and then he gets tied in with the King, and that involves a lot of battles that he's going to have to fight. So, great book. Recommend trying it if you haven't. If you are, though, deciding between whether to do, if you haven't read any Anthony Ryan, I'd probably recommend starting off with the Pariah, the Covenant of Steel series, because I enjoyed that more, but this was good. And so going off of that, though, the book I'm reading currently is Tower Lord, which is book 2 of this. I don't know how I feel about it. There's a lot of mixed reviews. I'm probably about 20% of the way through, and I don't know if maybe I just need a break from it or what, but it's switched. So there's a bunch of point of views now added. And not that that's bad, but the problem is true to the Anthony Ryan style, all these other added point of views, a lot of them are just really good at what they're doing, really good fighters, and they're becoming the star of the show. So I like seeing it in the main character, but I don't like seeing it in every character. And so I'm getting a little frustrated by that. And then also, there's a lot of bad guys, I guess you could say, and I don't really know what their motivations are. I can't really tell what the end goal is here and what's really going on. So I'm just really confused frustrated, and I don't know why it took the direction it did. I have seen a lot of reviews having the same complaints, but also saying, stick it out. It'll all make sense. So I guess my question is whether I want to stick it out or not, because I don't know. I'm just not sure. I think I might take a break and try something else for a little bit, but because I'm just really frustrated. So I don't know what I want to do. And then my other book, this was a DNF. I did get this as an ARC, so thank you, NetGalley and Orbit, for giving me this ARC, but I did try How to Become the Dark Lord or Die Trying. It's a long title. I don't know if you've seen it, but it looked really good. The back of the book sounded amazing. It was like Groundhog Day and Guardians of the Galaxy laugh out loud funny or something like that. And then it was saying how this girl, she's in this fantasy world. She essentially can die over and over. And so she kept trying to be the heroine, and she kept getting beaten by all these dark lords that would come up. And so on her last, run through of life, because she just continuously comes back, she decides, I'm sick of this, I want to join the other side. Sounded really interesting, because I'm like, oh, this sounds great. It's totally different than what your typical fantasy reads are. So I was really excited to try it. I couldn't wait. I got the ARC. I was thrilled to death. Started it right away. I hated it. I was like, it's so bad. I can't get through it. Okay, so it starts off with a disclaimer. The disclaimer says that there are elements of self-harm, suicide, which makes sense. This girl can die over and over. Makes sense. And then also there was some discussion about like sexual assault and everything like that. So it was like, okay. Does not give you a warning of the excessive use of language. It is really excessive. It is probably about every other word. It is constant, and also crude language, description about sexual exploits and ones that she wants to do with anybody and anything, any gender, any race of characters, anything. I mean, this girl, it is constant, and I couldn't handle it anymore. I mean, I wasn't even, I felt like there wasn't even a story, because it was just her being cynical, swearing, or needing to do some inappropriate act. So that was pretty much what I got out of it. I will say though, the author's writing style, if you can cut out all that, it flows well. It's easy to read. It's I'm sure it's great, but I just couldn't get through it. And I wouldn't have known any of that by the back of the book, by the disclaimer, by anything. So I'm very frustrated that book gave no heads up or no warning about that. And so that's why I'm telling you this now, because if you do want to try it out, totally fine if you want to try it out, but I just want to make sure that you're able to go into it knowing exactly what you're going into, because I was very disappointed, and I ended up being very frustrated because I was really excited to read it, and I don't like reading something like that, and I just did not enjoy it at all. And even as a Christian person, I did not feel as though that's something I should be reading. So I had to stop, because I just couldn't do it. I'm no judging if you do enjoy it. I just know personally for me, it was not for me. And I'm disappointed. I tried a couple days. I was putting it down, trying to pick it back up, because I'm like, I really want to be able to give an honest review towards this without those, that oversight of those. So I don't know, but I'm just disappointed because I was very hopeful, but I just am giving you this heads up now because I don't want you to, have that same experience and be disappointed. If that's something that bothers you. If it's not something that bothers you, that's fine. I don't care. Go ahead and enjoy it, because it was a great writing style, great premise. That's a really cool idea. So if you do read it and you enjoy it, I'd love to know how it ends, because I'm curious. But yeah, so other than that, those are the books that I've read so far for the year. And then I also have some book hauled. So I got Grace of Kings for Christmas, so that doesn't technically count for the year. There goes a book. Oh no. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. These are big books. I got the Dandelion Dynasty. I'm so excited. Look how big these books are though. But I have them in physical format. I can't wait. So, I mean, I got Grace of Kings for Christmas, but then I got these three. I'm like, I have to get this series. It's so good. I wish I could have gotten that special edition series, but I missed out on that, so that's okay. And then I also got Ryan Cahill's Of War and Ruin. Look at this big bad boy here. It's a big book. Yeah, this is great too. I read it last year, but I had to get the physical. And then I did get, these books. These were sent to me, and I'm really excited by these. Apparently the cover artist is the same that is used for the Bad and the Broken series, and they feel very similar. And I love these covers. Look how gorgeous these are. But this is by Corey Gannon. He sent me these books directly, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much if you're watching this. But these sound great, and look at these covers. Look how gorgeous they are. I haven't tried it yet, but I'd be excited to give these a try because they do sound really interesting. But yeah, so I'm really excited to check these out. And thank you for sending them. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know it's been a little bit since I've posted, but I had a lot to say. And I'll have some more videos coming up about Dandelion Dynasty and Empire of the Wolf because you got to read those. All right, thanks for watching.